Hundreds of graduate police officers are this month reeling with the pain of pay cuts affected by their employer, the National Police Service Commission, following Court of Appeal decision. Let's get more from our very own Sam Gituku.
The Inspector General of Police, Hilary Mutyambai, released a circular on the 17th of November requiring that the Deputy IG, Edward Mbugua, effects changes to the benefits accruing to graduate police officers in the rank of Job Group J. The circular reads in part, quote, "I direct that you adjust the salaries of officers of other ranks in Job Group J to what is earned by their counterparts in respective ranks." End of quote. This was the culmination of a Court of Appeal decision that had found that the police service was not bound to an earlier decision of the Labour Court. The genesis of the matter was a press release on the 19th of March 2018. The then National Police Service Commission Chair, Johnston Kavuludi, had sought to clarify an earlier statement communicating that all police officers who had joined the service as graduates or had become graduates while employed stood to be promoted to the Job Group J status. Kavuludi said, quote, "Payment of special salaries to graduate constables in the National Police Service is legally protected and provided for in the Commission's policy guidelines." At the time, around 1,000 graduate police officers had been benefiting from the consideration of Job Group J as graduate constables. Non-graduate officers joined the service in the rank of a constable, equivalent to Job Group F. About 3,000 officers had become graduates or joined the service as graduates but had not been promoted to Job Group J. And so Kavuludi told the officers to present their degree certificates to the IG, DIG and DCI for processing and submission to the Police Service Commission for consideration and authentication, and that for those who qualify, they would be granted a special salary equivalent to the entitlement of an inspector of police. A section of police officers were, however, not accorded the promise. They sued the employer along other entities. The Employment and Labour Relations Court in May 2019 agreed with them and ordered the police service to pay all graduate constables Job Group J salaries with effect from date of respective graduation or of joining the service. Since then, the graduate police officers had been receiving an enhanced pay. The police employer challenged the decision of the Court of Appeal, which in September this year overturned the Labour Relations Court decision. In a payslip seen by Citizen TV, an officer who had received a basic pay of over 50,000 shillings in October has had it reduced to just over 32,000 this November. Together with other allowances, the officer in October had total earnings of 102,000. This has now reduced to 65,000 shillings. But the deductions have largely remained the same as they were paying back loans. The officer has moved from a net pay of 30,914 shillings in October to just over 5,000 shillings now.
Been enjoying this salary back from 2010. And nobody has ever complained over this earning.
Another officer has had their pay slashed to total earnings of 57,000 shillings. After deductions, the officer now owes the employer more than 7,000 shillings as the deductions are more than the earnings.
I cannot be able to pay my rent. I cannot be able to present food on my table. I cannot be able to pay school fees of my kids, and of course I'll now unable to provide security to the members of the public.
The Court of Appeal found that for graduate officers to benefit, such emplacements and salary grading would also have to be done in consultation with the SRC as provided in the National Police Service Commission Act. The Court of Appeal stated it had no evidence that those graduate constables who had been promoted were purely promoted on the basis of presentation of their degree certificates without any other consideration. Sam Gituku, Citizen TV, Nairobi.